All right, everybody, we are live here on the Barça Times YouTube page. Just want to thank everybody that is joining live to the channel here. This is the first time for us to do this watch along. For those of you that do not know me, this is obviously my first appearance on the Barça Times YouTube page. But I am CJ Pronk at Big Siege Sports on Twitter or X. But most importantly, please make sure to give at Barça Times a follow. Also, make sure, if you have not done so already, go ahead and like this video, subscribe. Let's make sure the algorithms get this thing where it needs to be. And we are definitely going to be using this channel much more often than we have. I mean, if you look at the channel, it really hasn't been used almost at all in the last few months, maybe even I think it's like a year even that we really haven't used the YouTube page. So definitely, this is something that we are going to be using going forward. And always feel free to join the conversation, leave a comment. We are excited. I know that as a fan base here, and us Barca fans, I think we can all collectively say we're very excited for today, and at the same time, very anxious. I would say nerves are very high. I know me personally, I definitely have a lot of nerves going into this game. Obviously, a one goal lead on aggregate. The away goals don't matter anymore. It's just total aggregate goals. You'd have to feel, I mean, you feel confident, yes, I would say personally. But at the same time, man, we've seen this team in the past not perform in the Champions League. And so you just always have that little bit of doubt in the back of your mind, right? To say, what if that version of Barca shows up again? But we got a whole lot to talk about, guys. Let's go ahead and do this. Obviously, kickoff in a little less than an hour. So we've still got some time before the actual kickoff. I do also just want to let you guys know we will not be showing the game. So please do not, you know, don't think that you're going to come here and be able to actually watch the match. We will be banned forever if we do that. So please make sure to not come here thinking you're going to see the game. That's just not something that we're going to be able to do. But definitely come here. You can watch along with us. You can let us know your thoughts. No comments yet here in the live, but once we do get one, we can certainly talk about whatever you guys want to. And also, what I'll go ahead and do is I'm going to share my screen with you guys so that we can look at the starting 11 for today's match. Okay, perfect. So if you look here, hopefully you guys can see this. Again, let me know if you have any issues with the audio or video. If you guys aren't seeing or hearing clearly, please let me know. I do have a couple comments here already. What's your prediction? Is the first one that I see. I'll say this. Would not surprise me to see Barca come out of this with a draw. I can definitely see that happening today. I think that obviously we're more than happy to play for the draw, which means we're going to be sitting back a lot more, potentially. I like the way Barca plays when they play more attacking football. So I know that for me, that will be. I'll be very nervous if that's the route that Barca decides to go. Um, but if I had to make a guess, like if I had to say, I'm going to put money on this is what I think is going to happen, I'm going to say 1-1 draw in the Montjuic and Barca moves on to the semifinals. If I had to guess, that is what I think is going to happen. But I mean, it's just, I'm not sure, obviously not all of you were in here at the beginning of the live, but kind of what I touched on was we as Barca fans have so much trauma from the Champions League that it's, I think, very hard for us to be optimistic at times because we just have so many things that we can look back on and think, ah, but remember when this happened and this happened. Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is Anfield and what happened in Roma. Those are the two main ones. Obviously, the 8-2 game against Bayern. So you just never know which version of this team is going to show up at this stage. But I think I feel confident saying that a draw is very realistic to expect today. The one thing I will say this, the one thing that really, really scares me about this game is that Mbappe was essentially ghosting the entire match in the first leg. If you really, the only reason you knew he was there was because of that first shot that he had in like the first couple minutes that wasn't even on target, and because obviously the camera kept showing him on several occasions. Other than that, he really did not make an impact in the match at all. And you'd have to think that that's probably not going to happen 2 games in a row. And we've seen on time and time again that this man can make a huge difference in games at every stage. He just did it in a World Cup final. Not very long ago. He's done it in the Champions League before, where he's had huge performances. I mean, he scored a hat trick against Barça, a few years ago. So you never know. Let's get back to the comments, as I appreciate you guys and your participation. The first one I see, the new comment, I say, should Dembele get the Figo treatment? I'll say this. I wasn't like massively hurt when Dembele left. For this, I'll say this. I think that he's extremely talented, obviously, and he's shown that. His pace is incredible. He can make plays, for others more than anything. I don't think he's obviously not a great goal scorer, but I think that he's very, very, he can be a problem for the defense. So I wasn't like horribly hurt just because of the all the injury history and things like that. What hurt me more than anything is the way that he left and the way that he acted when he left. And I think the breaking point for me was the way he celebrated his goal in the first leg. I think that rubbed a lot of Barca fans the wrong way, me included. So I would say he's probably going to get something very similar to the Figo treatment. There's obviously a lot of things I've already seen, with signs and things like that that are in the camp now for Dembele, specifically, that he's definitely not going to be treated. And I'll be fine with it as long as there's nothing, racist or stupid that they yell at him. I would be 100% okay with him being heckled. As long as Barca fans don't cross the line of yelling, racist slurs or things like that, I think everything is game. I think that's part of being a professional footballer, is being able to deal with that type of criticism. And he needs to understand that we as Barca fans did not appreciate the way he celebrated that goal or the way that he left. The next thing I did see, as far as this comment, it's from Duplex. He says, "Will Frankie drop a masterclass or a stinker?" I think he had a very disappointing first leg. I think he obviously had a lot to do with the first goal that they scored, that Dembele scored. Um, and I think there were a lot of times where he just kind of looked lost. I think the fact that Pedri is going to be back in the 11 will help the entire midfield, obviously. I think that Frankie will definitely play better than the first leg. I mean, I'll say this: he can't play much worse than he played in that first leg. He was very disappointing, in my opinion, in that first leg. But I don't think he'll play that poorly again. And again, I think that Pedri being back in the midfield will definitely help him play better as well. Says, is that you or your editor? So we're a group of editors here at BarçaTimes, right? I am one of the editors. I'm CJ Pronk at Big Siege Sports on Twitter. So I'm one of the editors. I'm located here in the United States, but we have several editors all around the world. So I'm just one of the many editors. Our team does awesome, awesome work. I'm just one piece to the puzzle. So I'm certainly not the face of Barca Times. So I'm just a team member, and I'm just trying to do the best I can to represent us the best way that I can here. This game is likely to be a draw game and 2-2. I agree as far as the draw. I think 1-1, 2-2 is very, very realistic expectation. Um, I think Xavi's going to come in with a great game plan. Again, I really hope Barca just continues to play attacking and possession football because that's when we're at our best. I don't like, let's just park the bus. I've never liked that game plan, ever. So I hope that Barca continues to be aggressive, continues to try and score goals because that's going to be what's going to make sure we get on to the semifinals. I hope Barca smash PSG. They deserve a humbling. I think is great. One of our other editors, we were talking in our group chat within Barca Times, and we were talking about how over the last few years, PSG Barca has become a really great rivalry, right? Like it's not like we're traditional rivals, right? It's not like, us in Madrid or us in Espanol or anything like that. It's become a rivalry over the years because of all the history back and forth between the two clubs. And I think a lot of Barca fans, I think if you were to ask them, outside of La Liga teams, who's the team that you dislike the most? I think a lot of them would say PSG. So I think a lot of people share your your feelings that they would love to see them be humbled. We would love to see Barca just come out and dispatch of them early. And I think that a lot of people are on the same page as you are, for sure. You think there is any pressure in the locker room? Absolutely. I think the players definitely going into this game can feel it. I think that we forget something a lot of times, and that is that these players are human beings, right? Put yourself in their situation, knowing the expectations. First of all, of just playing at Barca in the first place, right? You're expected to win every single match. If you do not win the match, it's a failure. If you go out and you draw, that's less than expectations for Barca. And so definitely, I feel like they can feel the pressure a little bit, but at the same time, I think that they can look back to what they did in Paris in that first leg and know how much better they seem to play at home than on the road, and know that as long as they carry over what they did from the first leg, the good things, that they should be able to move right along to the semifinals. So I definitely think that they definitely do feel some pressure, obviously. I think it's hard not to, being on the stage that they are and playing for the club that they are. But at the same time, I think that they're going to be just fine. Appreciate all the comments, guys. Feel free to put anything in the comments that you like. There is also this the most recent comment I do see here. Should Barca sell Rafinha or not? So this is a very tricky question, right? Because the Rafinha we saw in the first leg of this Champions League quarterfinal, I mean, I tweeted this out, I believe, on my personal Twitter, and I said, if this is the version of Rafinha that we're going to get for the rest of the season, he should be untouchable. Because he played unbelievable. That's obviously by far the best he's ever played with Barca. So I would say initially my initial answer would be no. I don't think that they should sell Rafinha. However, if you get a massive offer, like if you get somebody that comes in and offers, 75 million euros or more, I think you really have to consider that, especially, with the financial situation the way that it still is, unfortunately. Thanks, Bartomeo. Appreciate it. But my initial answer to that would be no, unless you get a massive offer. Then you kind of have your hands tied at that point. And I also think that it is very dependent on what they want to do with Ansu Fati, right? Or do they want to try to bring Ansu Fati back next season? Do they want him to go on loan again? Are they going to sell him? So I mean, there's a lot of different things that can happen. Appreciate the question there. Pedri Season says the scary part is our lead is just by one goal. If they score early, they will have the momentum. Absolutely. That is definitely something that we need to pay attention to. And I completely agree that if they score early and they score first, does Barca start, pressing? Do they start to feel the pressure really, really hard? We obviously want to avoid extra time at all costs, right? Nobody wants to have to play 120 minutes and then potentially have to go to penalties. Like I said, away goals don't matter anymore. So the fact that Barca has a one goal lead right now on aggregate doesn't mean that they have an advantage because it's an away goal. So definitely, if Barca does have to score first, if there are any goals in this game, um, and put the pressure on PSG to really, really have to go forward and potentially make a mistake where Barca can counter to get a goal. Stefan says, should Barca press PSG or should they control the game to get good results? So I mentioned this a little bit earlier, right? I don't think that Barca needs to play any type of, let's sit back and, park the bus or, just possess and, make sure that we have, 90% possession and make sure PSG doesn't touch the ball all game just to pass it around. Barca is at their best when they play attacking football. So clearly, I mean, we want to possess, right? There's no question. We're Barca, that's what we do. But at the same time, I don't want to just possess the ball just to possess it because I feel like that's when Barca can really get in trouble. So I want to see us possess the football and play attacking football and still try to score goals because that's when we're at our best. Says, hi, are you BarçaTimes admin? So I am one of them. I did briefly mention this a moment ago. I am one of the admins. My name is CJ Pronk at Big Siege Sports on Twitter or on X. You can find me in the original post that was talking about that we were going to be doing this live. But yes, I am one of the admins. I'm just one of the pieces of the puzzle here at BarçaTimes. We're located all over the world, so we all try to work together here on the page. Do you think that it'll be an easy going forward if we win today? No. I think every stage of the Champions League gets harder. Now I will say this: we were also kind of talking about this amongst ourselves in the group chat for BarçaTimes, and that is, if we are to move on, if Barca is to move on today, what's the ideal draw for the next round, right? For the semifinals. And in my opinion, and I think a couple others agreed as well, it would be if Dortmund is able to beat Atletico and we draw Dortmund in the semifinals. That's like the ideal situation for us. I think that's something that we should definitely hope for. If we're just looking to we want an easy route to the final. But I will say that there, when you get to this stage in the Champions League, especially, there are no easy games. There are no easy matchups. It's not like it's the group stage anymore, and you can just go in and beat up on little teams in the group stage. It's I don't think that there's any easy way going forward. But as far as like the easiest potentially, it would be if Dortmund is able to overcome the 2-1 deficit and beat Atletico, and then Barca obviously moves on, and that's who they draw in the semifinal. I would certainly would as far as the teams that are left, looking at everybody that is left, I would prefer playing Dortmund over any other team that is currently left in the Champions League. Exactly. Atletico are more stubborn. Yes, 100%. 100%. Even though Xavi has been very good against Atletico since he came to Barca as the coach. You never know what could happen, especially in a Champions League game. But that is, again, you are looking at the Barca 11 here. I think this is pretty much the 11 that we expected. A couple things to keep in mind as well, guys. Sergio Roberto and Andreas Christensen are both suspended for this game due to yellow cards. So they did accumulate too many yellow cards. They will not be available on the bench for Barca. So that is something to watch out for. Obviously, this will be his first time playing 90 minutes in quite some time. So that'll be something to watch out for as well. How will he react to that? He clearly is. He's been cleared. He's at 100%. And he did come in and made a huge difference in the first leg when he came off the bench. He obviously almost immediately got that beautiful assist to Rafinha for his second goal. So he definitely appears to be at 100%. So I wouldn't expect him to have to come out so that we would need to potentially put somebody like Christensen or Sergio Roberto in the midfield. But we'll see. We'll see kind of how the game unfolds. Again, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the live. We will be live for the remainder of the afternoon. We kind of just wanted to come on, do a little bit of like a pregame show. Talk with you guys about starting 11, your predictions for the game, anything like that, and then we're also going to do a watch along. So again, we will not be showing the actual game here because again, we would be banned forever from every platform. UEFA, doesn't mess around with that stuff. We would definitely be removed, but we definitely will be doing a watch along here where I have the game on my other monitor here where I'll be watching it with you guys. Charlie Rogers says Visca Barça. Absolutely. Visca Barça. I got the Som un Equipe shirt on today for my support of Barça. Absolutely. This is very exciting, guys. I mean, obviously we haven't had a lot to cheer for in the Champions League for a while. So the fact that we get to potentially reach Champions League semifinal, as long as we take care of business today, is very, very exciting. Charlie says, love the 11. I do as well. Yeah, I do as well. I think that this is definitely the best 11 that we could put out there. I think that let me try and see. Let me see if I can pull up PSG's 11 as well. And that way we can maybe get like a side by side of the two. Let me see, guys. Just while I'm pulling that up, I did see another comment here. Says I'm very excited and very nervous at the same time. Let's not do a Liverpool again. Yeah, I don't think that anybody wants to remember what happened in Anfield. I don't think anybody wants to repeat that again. What's funny about the let ups that Barca has had and kind of the times where they've completely bottled leads in the Champions League is the first kind of major one against Roma. So my first daughter was actually born that day. So I didn't get to even watch the match. I had it on the TV in the hospital room, but I didn't care because my daughter was being born. So it was like I was able to distract myself from that happening because of the joy of my daughter being born. So that was nice. Anfield, I was not able to avoid that one. I definitely watched every minute of that one was awful. But let's stay positive, right? Let's try to stay as positive as we can here as Barca fans, and know that with this 1 goal lead, we're going to hopefully be able to take care of business here at home. So I do have the 11 here for PSG. I'm gonna see if I can share this screen with you guys. All right, that's me for just a moment here, and then if we head over to this one. All right, let me know. Hopefully you guys can see that. So this is the PSG 11 for today, right? Barcola came on after halftime in the first leg. They did not start with him, but we have Dembele, Mbappe, and Barcola up top. Ruiz, Vitinha, and Zaire Emery in the midfield. And then obviously at the back, Mendes, Hernandez, Marquinhos, the captain, and Hakimi, who did not play in the first leg, is also back with Donnarumma in goal again as well. So there's the 11 for PSG. Obviously, a couple changes from the first leg. Barcola had a few really scary chances in that first leg. He just wasn't able to finish them. So that's going to be something to really watch for. If he's as dynamic as he was in that first game, that could potentially be very scary for Barca. If he's able to do that, obviously two very dynamic wingers. Whether we want to acknowledge it or not, Dembele is obviously extremely dynamic. We know the pace and the dribbling skills that he has, and how he could use both feet pretty much equally as well. So that's definitely going to be something to look for. And then obviously we mentioned this earlier. Mbappe pretty much ghosted through the entire first leg, and you would expect that to not happen again. But that is potentially something to look out for. And let's hope he doesn't completely break out. Right? That's clearly not what we want to see happen. Just want to say as well, you guys, for those that have started to follow me on social media since the update was posted on the BarçaTimes, and also um, the live started here. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the support. But please make sure to go follow BarçaTimes on social media as well. The links are actually in the description of this video to our Twitter, our Instagram, and our Facebook page. And also, if you guys haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube, because we're going to be doing a lot more with this channel than we have. We're going to work on, a lot of the YouTube shorts. We're going to try and do more of these live videos like this, watch alongs, and, whether it's pregame or postgame shows. But we're going to do our best to do that. So definitely make sure, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe to the YouTube. Also, if you haven't done so already, like this video. That'll make sure that the algorithm gets it spread along as well, so that we get more viewers in here and we get as many people to react as possible. Let's head over to Twitter just for a moment. I'm going to see if we have any recent developments. Anything has changed. Looks like some Barca fans burned a Dembele shirt before the match. Not that surprising. We have the 11 for PSG. Yeah. So not really, it doesn't look like a whole lot of news yet. Anything additional? Something I did find interesting is Girona's manager is at this game. So that was kind of something I didn't really expect. Um, Pow Gate 13 fan says Mbappe is the only player that can turn the game by himself. Let's see exactly right. Um, Mbappe at this moment is probably the best player in the world, right? I think a lot of us would probably agree with that he's the best player in the world. So he definitely can decide a match on his own, and so Barca needs to be very careful. They just need to be very solid at the back, like they were in the first leg. Um, Kubarsi is going to have a huge responsibility again. Araujo is going to have a huge responsibility again. It's going to obviously rely on them, but I think more than anything, Barca just needs to play in possession. Azim, hola, ¿cómo estás? But I do think that Pedri being in that starting 11, guys, I mean, it is going to be um, an absolute joy. Says, is this you, Shay? No, I am not Shay. I wish I was Shay. Shay's awesome. I am CJ Pronk at Big Siege Sports on Twitter. I am one of the admins for BarçaTimes, located here in the United States of America. So I am not Shay. I wish I was though. I love Shay. He's an awesome guy. He does some awesome work for our page, and I'm very happy to know him. But no, I am not Shay. I am CJ Pronk. But I appreciate you tuning in to the show, Azim. I appreciate that. Yeah, mine too. Barca Times was a page that I followed just as a fan before I became an admin. So it's definitely a great page, and those guys, do an awesome job. A lot of awesome work. And Shay is one of those guys that does that as well. So definitely. Let's see. So we've talked about the starting 11s. We've kind of given some predictions. For those of you that are watching this live, so I've given my predictions. What about you guys? What do you guys think? We're going to see a draw today. Is Barca going to get 3 points? Is PSG going to force extra time, or are they going to come out and handle Barca in its own stadium? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. What are your predictions for the match today? As we have just a little under half an hour to go. Azim says, I think it'd be a 3-2. They will go hard. I definitely think PSG is going to come out with, a lot of energy, obviously, knowing they're a goal down. I did say earlier, I believe we're going to see a draw in this game. Advesh says Barca 3, PSG 1. That would be fantastic, right? I mean, if we could see Barca come out and continue to be aggressive and score that many goals, I think that would be wonderful. Yaya says, who do you want to be the midfielder sitting deep? Oh, man, it's tough, right? Because ideally, I'd love it to be Frankie. But Frankie was so poor and inconsistent in that first leg that it's tough. It's tough to say that just right off the bat. Um, man, I'm gonna say Frankie, just because I think um Pedri needs to be part of the attack more than anything. I also think, I mean, Gundogan could clearly do that as well, but ideally, I'm going to say Frankie. And like I said earlier, I think Pedri being in the starting 11 is going to significantly help Frankie play better. So I'm going to go with Frankie. Frankie the Young. They're kind of showing now again, guys. I wish I could show the actual video that I'm watching the pregame show right now of. They're showing the highlights from the first leg. They just showed the first Rafinha goal, and now they're showing Pedri. Bro, that pass to Rafinha is just unbelievable. And the fact that he had just come off the bench, and made that pass. I mean, Pedri is just he's so special. He is just such a special player. Um, Frankie for me is very complete. Oh no, he definitely is. And look, I love Frankie. Right, I have, like I said, I'm from the United States, but I have a lot of Dutch ancestry. So I love Frankie De Jong. He's somebody that I talk with my cousins that live in Holland. I talk, all the time about Frankie De Jong with them. And he's definitely a player that I was extremely excited when they signed him, and he's shown a ton over the time he's been with Barca that lets me know how special of a player he is. I'm just concerned because of how poorly he played in that first leg, right? He was not very good. I think we can all agree that he really struggled. So that's the only reservations I have about it is just the fact that he really really struggled in that first leg. Um, but again, that things can change. I mean, not every game is going to be exactly the same, and I think that Frankie will come out and play better today for a lot of reasons, but more than anything because Pedri is going to be in that midfield to help stabilize, and the fact that Gundogan to me is he's been our best player as far as consistency all season long. I mean, he has just been so stable in that midfield, guys. Um, City misses him so much. If you watch Man City play, they are missing Ilkay Gundogan more than just about anything else. Obviously, Rodri's incredible, right? He's probably the best midfielder in the world. I think you could probably argue that, but Gundogan is so so important, and I think he's been amazing for Barca this year. So I think the combination of those three, obviously Pedri coming back now fully healthy. Man, they just showed a Barcola goal. But Pedri coming back, being fully healthy, and then obviously Gundogan being as consistent as he is. I think that we're going to see Frankie play a whole lot better today. Man, I forgot about that tackle from Araujo on Barcola when Barcola had like a very easy scoring chance. Um, Pau says, "Is it true that we might get Bernardo Silva?" There's definitely there's definitely legs to that. I would say that is definitely something that could potentially happen. There have been several reports from very very good sources. That's something that we really really try to do our best with here at Barca Times is only report stories from legitimate and good sources. And we do have a lot of reporters. I would not maybe a lot, but we have had several journalists that are very, very reliable say that Bernardo Silva is a potential target for Barca, especially when it comes to Xavi potentially sticking around as the manager. He doesn't want Barca to be limited in any way to be able to not make signings, and he wants a guy potentially like Bernardo Silva. And there also is another report that Bernardo Silva does have a special clause in his contract that he can actually leave Manchester City for 50 million to go to Barcelona. So that is something to definitely watch out for going into the summer. I wouldn't say it's a for sure thing that we're signing him, but it's definitely something to look out for. My feeling is that Xavi will stay. He deserves it. This is where I think that there's a lot of different opinions in within our Barca Times admin group. We definitely have some people that are pro Xavi. I am one of those. I also would not mind at all if Xavi does stay as the coach. I think that he's proven, especially since he announced that he was departing, how much better the team has played. I think he's proven that he can get this team to where it needs to be. Um, and I think that he clearly is a good coach. He's very young and inexperienced, right? I mean, he came from a much, much lesser league to the biggest club in the world. And I don't know if he fully knew what he was getting into. The biggest obstacle I see for Xavi is although the board clearly wants him to stay now at this point, and there's a lot of fans want him to stay at this point. Does Xavi want to stay? Because he was very clear that he was not enjoying the job anymore. That was kind of the number one reason he didn't want to continue to coach, is because he was not enjoying himself. It wasn't nearly as fun for him. So I think that's what we really need to look out. Made it very clear that they want Xavi to continue, especially Laporta. He definitely wants Xavi to stay at this point. But you know, does Xavi want to stay? That's really the main thing. But yeah, I think that's something that a lot of people within just our little group of admins with Barca Times we talk about quite often, and we have a lot of differing opinions when it comes to that. All right, guys, I'm gonna step away for just a brief moment. I'm gonna leave here. Let me do this. I'm gonna step away for just a moment before kind of warm ups and everything starts here. I'm gonna go back to sharing the Barca Times Twitter here. Perfect. So that's what you guys will see. The live will continue. I'm just going to step away for just a brief moment, guys. So I'll be right back. All right, you guys. Appreciate you being patient with me. Just had to step away for a brief moment there. Perfect. All right. Just about 15 minutes to kick off, guys. I am feeling very, very, very anxious. Um, little nervous, but just hoping Barca gets it done, you guys. Man, let me know as well. For those that are in the live, where are you watching from? Where are you watching our live from? This comment says Lamine will probably be the best player in the world if he improves his finishing. I love Lamine, and he definitely has so much potential. I just think we really, really need to be careful with him, right? Um, there's rumors that Barca wants to give him the 10 next year, and I'm just like, let's pump the brakes a little bit. He's obviously incredible. There's no question about it. There's no question about it, right? But I think we really need to pump the brakes with him. Let's let him continue to develop. Obviously, let's continue to give him playing time. Of course, I mean I'm not going to be against that at all. But let's continue to pump the brakes. Let's let him continue to develop, and let's see where he can go. I think the sky's the limit for him as well. Absolutely. Like I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just saying that I definitely want to make sure that we take it slow with Lamine because we've seen in the past, players that are young with incredible potential have issues with injuries or they get overplayed, or the hype just seems to be too much for them. So, but I do agree that if he can, I mean, if he can improve his finishing, oh my goodness, like that's scary because he's already so incredible at dribbling past people and making the right pass. If he can finish, oh man, I mean, yeah, look out. From Greece. Awesome. For those of you that weren't in the live, let us know, guys, where you are watching, where you're tuning in from. I am just one of the editors here at Barca Times. My name is CJ Pronk. I am from the United States. I currently live in North Carolina in the United States, but we have editors all over the world. So I am just one of the editors for the page. So many people contribute to Barca Times. They do such good work, and I am just so happy to be a part of that team. Okay. But just checking on a couple things here, guys. I appreciate you guys being so awesome, being so. I really appreciate all the comments as well, you guys. That's like my favorite part of doing lives is just reading all the comments. We've already gotten a lot of participation on this live here, and obviously this is the first time that we've been live on this page ever, and the first time that we've ever um, what am I trying to say? The first time that we've really posted anything in a long time. Um oh guys, I'm having some flashbacks here. They're showing Mbappe's hat trick in an empty cap now from a few years ago. Our back four is giving me nightmares, guys. It's Piqué, Langlet. I saw Serginho Dest in there. Guys, I'm American and I love when he plays for the US men's national team because he tends to play very, very well at the national team level. But oh man, guys, seeing him play for Barca gives me an irregular heartbeat. It's a very scary thing to watch. I appreciate that. You deserve it because you love the club. I do. I do. And I think it's football is growing here in the United States, right? I've obviously been a football fan for a long time. Um, you know, Ronaldinho and then obviously Messi made me fall in love with Barca. And it's hard to explain, right? The way that the passion for the club makes you feel. And it's something that I really hope in the coming years the sport continues to grow here in my country because we get the World Cup here very soon. In 2026. Um, I just hope we can showcase to the world that we really do love the sport and that it is continuing to grow. But yes, Barca. I love Barca, and I hope that they can continue to show us tonight that they're on the right track and back to where they should be, and that is at the top of Europe. Because it's been far too long, guys. It's been far too long since they've been there. And I think that us as Barca fans would trade a lot of things to win a Champions League again. Because there's really nothing like it, right? Obviously, you love to win the league, right? I mean, there's no doubt about it that every year we should want to win La Liga. But being the best team in Europe and winning the Champions League is just it's a whole different ballgame. It's the reason that I mean I don't want to do this for no reason. So I do have a reason I'm saying this, but it's a reason. There's a reason that Madrid fans walk around with poking their chests out all the time at us because of how many times they've won the Champions League. It's just it's something to be proud of. And I know that us as Barca fans would give almost anything to see that happen again. All right, you guys, I am going to do something real quick here. I'm not going anywhere, just need to. Okay, perfect. Literally, yeah, literally the Champions League is the ultimate dream, but let's beat PSG first. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Let's get these let's send these clowns home first, right? But obviously, yes, it's the ultimate dream. The Champions League is the best tournament in the world for a reason. It's truly the best teams playing one another, and so you love to be part of that group that wins that tournament. Again, guys, game is very close, so our match starts here in about 7 minutes, according to my clock. I hope I'm not too far different than if you guys stick around to continue to watch the watch along while the actual match is going on. I hope it's not too different. What I've run into sometimes is being here in the States, obviously, there are several ways. I mean, there are ways to watch the Champions League, right? We have, Paramount Plus is the biggest thing, through CBS here in the United States. So that's how the majority of us, watch the Champions League. But what I've noticed is that sometimes it can be like slightly behind my other admins that are over on the other side of the world, in Europe and Asia. So it can definitely be a challenge sometimes where it's like they know that Barca scored like slightly before I do. And it's not like a huge delay, but it can sometimes happen like that. So um, feel free to comment. Like I don't care if you spoil that we're that somebody scored or there was an awesome play or whatever you want to do. But just know that like if my reaction is delayed, it's just because that's how it is sometimes with TV rights. Obviously, the sport is so much bigger in other areas of the world than it is here. So it can sometimes just be slightly delayed. I've been talking a lot, guys. Sorry. I need to get a drink of water. But we'll tweet out again here in a few minutes that we're live again, just so that we can probably get some more viewers into. We can get some more viewers into the live here. Um, let's see. What are we doing here? We're doing something on the pregame. Okay, I'm just kind of showing like the split screen where in Barca 3-2. Dortmund Atletico is 1-2 on aggregate in favor of Atletico. Says, I've never been this nervous for a long time, but we will do it. I know we will. Now is the time for history to speak. I'm nervous too, man. I'm starting to I'm starting to really feel it. um shoot. Yeah, they're showing the atmosphere. Oh, guys, Dortmund is such an incredible atmosphere. That's I mean, I have a list of places that I want to visit sporting wise, right? I'm a huge sports fan, basically like any sport. Um, but Dortmund is right up the top, right up towards the top on the list of places that I would love to go watch a match at just because oh my gosh, it's an incredible atmosphere. Every time I've ever watched a Dortmund game, whether it's just a Bundesliga game or a Champions League game, like they just they show up every match. I would love to go see a game there. I'm hoping to get to when they finish the Spotify Camp Now. I'm really, really hoping to get there for when it opens. Um, that would be a dream. Let's see now with Dembele if he go. Yeah, no, I think every time Dembele touches it, I think it's going to be loud in that stadium. I think that's definitely going to happen. Players are in the tunnel about to come out for me. But here we go, guys. Man, if I just hope Barca scores early, takes a little bit of pressure off themselves at that point, and let's just play the way that we can. Let's do this thing, guys. We're gonna have probably a few viewers that are gonna start to tune in here now that we're getting closer to kickoff. I think that the page is probably gonna tweet something out. Whew, man. I'm gonna try and get, I'm gonna try and get a live thing for the game here that'll show kind of what's happening. I know that for me here in the States, I usually just use ESPN. If you guys have any suggestions as far as like a site that you guys would want me to pull up to show like the live, like the stats, the live, happenings in the game and things like that, definitely let me know if there's like a preferred site in Europe and the other side of the world. Because again, I usually just pull up ESPN and it'll show what's going on and the stats and things like that. But I know that there's probably got to be a lot more, probably a lot better apps over on the other side of the world where football is king, right? Um, let me see. Appreciate everybody tuning in here. We are just moments away from kickoff. 2,700 Paris fans were allowed into the stadium. They did just show that on the camera there. But guys, kickoff just moments away. Visca el Barça, Visca Catalunya. Vamos! I'm gonna probably get really I get very emotional watching games, guys. Also another thing to look out for, Araujo, Frankie, and Lamine are all on yellow card warnings. So if any of those three pick up a yellow today, they actually would miss the first leg of the semifinal if we do advance. So that is definitely something to look out for. Captains are meeting. Ter Stegen captains Barca today. And Marquinhos, I believe, will captain PSG. Looks like we have German and Romanian officials today for the game. PSG appears to have won the toss. I'm sure they'll take the ball. Forza Barça. And let me know, guys, where you guys are watching from in the comments. Let me know which country. Barca obviously have supporters all over the world. So let me know where you guys are watching from today. And here we go. I've got to step away for a moment, guys. I'm so sorry. Slight emergency here. But I'll be right back. Okay, you guys. I'm so sorry. I had to step away for a brief moment. Set a little mini emergency there. But everything's good. Everything's fine. You can really see Paris is focused on getting Mbappe the ball early. They're really, really focused on getting him the ball. Which obviously, I mean, why wouldn't they, right? But that definitely is something that I've noticed already just in the first few minutes that they're really, really doing. Okay, guys, I'm gonna try and share screen with you guys here. I'm gonna share that one. Hopefully, that one should help as well. That'll kind of let you guys know what the score is. It'll also give us kind of any events to go on. Let me know though, guys, if there's a different site or a different thing you guys want me to pull up. I definitely can do that as well. Early chance here for PSG. Cleared by Frankie, but Vitinha, good block by Frankie. Two really good plays in a row by Frankie. Ooh, Libby gets fouled. Are they going to give him a card? No. Okay. So it looks like the ref is warning Marquinhos if he does that again, it's going to be a yellow. Yeah, that's all that was there. 0-0 early on. Barça is in possession now. Araujo plays it back for Ter Stegen. I'm excited for Joao Cancelo today. I think that he needs to play well in this game. I think he can. I mean, he's so dynamic, right? Jeez. Araujo just about gave that away in a really, really tough position. Araujo. Gundogan for Kunde. Jules and Araujo kind of going back and forth here for a moment. I like this. I like Barca in possession. But again, I don't like just playing in our own half. I want to try and attack. There you go. I like that. Araujo kind of pushing it up. Lamine over on the wing here. I gave it away. And now Mbappe has it on the wing. He's one-on-one with Kubarsi right now. Kubarsi made him give it up, though. Good job. Now PSG has to retreat. Dembele. I don't have the audio of the game on, you guys, because I'm watching it on my other monitor that's connected to something else other than my computer where I'm doing the stream from. So I'm not able to hear, but I would assume that every time Dembele is touching the ball, he is probably hearing it from the fans in Montjuic. Appreciate you guys tuning into this watch along. We really do appreciate the support. Make sure if you guys haven't done so already, guys, subscribe to the YouTube. And we'll definitely make sure going forward, we're going to create a lot more content for you guys on this YouTube page. Early corner for PSG. Dembele takes the corner, but Lewy able to get rid of that. Good job by Lewandowski. So throw in for the Parisians. Great defense from Joao Cancelo. Gundogan loses possession, though. Vitinha. Here comes PSG again. Barcola now, working on Jules Koundé. Mbappe. One-on-one with Lamine. Goes right past him. Oh, boy. Okay. So there was... I don't know where that ball hit Jules. But I really hope it wasn't where I thought it was. because it kind of looked like it may have gotten his arm. Just from the angle that I said. I could be wrong. It doesn't look like they're reviewing it, though, so. Oh, they're showing the replay now. No. No, there's nothing there. Good. Good block by Jules. He did have his hands tucked in anyway, so I think even if it would have hit part of his arm, I don't think that it would have been a pen just because of the way that he had his arms kind of behind his back there. Dembele goes past Rafinha and loses possession. I'm sorry, guys. He stepped on the ball and fell. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize that he stepped on the ball. I just thought he fell. Frankie wins possession back, but he did foul. Frankie's already been a lot more active in this game, guys. Like, I mean, I knew he would be better. Like I told you guys during the pregame, Pedri being in that midfield is really going to help him out. Excellent job from Araujo there. They are really going at Barça, though, down that right side. As they really think that Joao Cancelo is a weakness defensively for Barça. Excellent job from Jules there on Barcola. And PSG loses possession. That's a great job defensively from Barça there. I understand, obviously, Joao Cancelo is an extremely talented fullback. Defense is not his strongest suit, like his strongest skill. But I don't think that he's so poor defensively that teams should look to just attack his side every time. I don't think that it's at that level. Paris in possession. Lamine able to win the possession back. And here comes Barça. Frankie finds Lamine. Lamine Yamal. Jules Koundé. Oof. Pressure from PSG, but he fouled Frankie. Lamine. Jules Koundé. Araujo. Center circle Araujo. Finds Lamine over on the wing. Here we go. Lamine. Rafinha! Goal! Vamos! Rafinha scores his third goal in 2 matches for Barça. And what a play from Lamine Yamal on the right wing to find Rafinha for the goal. Barça up 4-2 on aggregate, 1-0, 12th minute in the month of UH. What a goal from Rafinha, and what a play from Lamine Yamal to dribble up the right side, find Rafinha. Lamine Yamal, ladies and gentlemen, is just so special. What a player. Lamine, Rafinha, one time, first touch on his right foot. What a goal. Unbelievable play. Oh man, I'm trying not to tear up on this live, you guys. That was just unbelievable. Exactly what Barca needed. An early goal, get themselves going, get the confidence up. Ooh, but PSG in a very dangerous spot now. Dembele working on Cancelo. He dribbles past him, but out of bounds. And that will go out for a goal kick. Folks, I don't think we realize how lucky we are as Barca fans to have this kid. Lamine Yamal is just he is special. So special. Barcola, no problem for Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. Mbappe really pressing high. Kunde not able to save that pass from Ter Stegen. So PSG will have it now in the attacking third. PSG back in possession here. Barcola. Oh. Pedri right there with Fabian. Contact from Araujo, but no foul. Play on. Lamine gets dispossessed on the right wing, but Barca will retain possession. Oh my goodness, guys. I still can't believe. Ooh, boy, that was a lot of contact from Araujo. I'll take the no foul, but that was a lot of contacts. He just straight up double arm shoved him. Oh, here we go. Lewy gets fouled by Vitinha, I believe. Kubarsi. Ah. Joao Cancelo could not handle that one. Donnarumma. Here comes, looks like